to go through. I just said I want a different size. I don't want that one.
Okay.
I don't want that body. Because I had osteomyelitis of the spine. My whole spine was deteriorating. I was crippled. I was in leg aches, back aches, and nobody'd ever run into this. It never been cured. So, do you think I'd have picked that body? But I got osteomyelitis of the spine. I'm the first person ever cured of it. I'm 82 pain-free. But it took my mother's commitment, my dad, finding the right doctor who was a friend of my great aunt who said I'm going to save her life, found a cure. So if I hadn't had the illness, there may not have been a cure.
Right.
So it's not all easy. And I was in and out of hospitals a third of the year and still kept up with school with no tutoring.
Right.
Do you understand what? So that was my path. I wouldn't have chosen it. My back aches were horrible. Horrible at night. A lot of nights. Just terrible. But that was my path. Now I have no back aches at 82.
Right.
Haven't had them for years.
Right.
The doctor saved my life.
Right.
And when he died not very long after saving my life.
Wow.
He was the most proud of that, of anything he'd ever done. Because he found a cure for osteomyelitis of the spine. Because of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you choose it? Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even relate to what it was like. But I grew from it. I'm more because of it. So everything has the chance to be more or less. For example, I was told one fall could kill me with this artificial backbone situation. First thing I wanted was a Shetland pony. I wanted my pony. I had to go 2-mile walk every day, each way to the fairground to feed it, water it, and take care of that pony. I got the pony, I did it. Do you understand?
Right.
I did not let, and anyone, most mothers would have said, you're not going to get a Shetland pony, one fall could kill you.
Right.
But I was able to continue to live my life fully. When my first husband was killed in a car accident, a tire blew out. We bought 3 new ones, the 4th one blew. I went on with my life. It was hard. Nothing's easy. You grow from it, or you go down from it. Do you understand?
I do.
And you didn't choose black, and I didn't choose white. You didn't choose your age, I didn't choose my age. We got what we got, now what?
Right.
And I have 4 words I look at. More, not less. No matter what shows up. I want to be more from it. From our conversation, I don't want to be less, I want to be more.
Yes.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to speak my conversation from where I am. You have to take what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I speak my truth, period.
Right.
And I will do that till I die.
Right. And that's where and that's the person that Jazzy is.
Then let her be that way.
Yeah.
Support her in it. Because
And-
she's going to be with her when you're gone. She'll maybe be 82 someday talking to somebody. And this could be a turning point that's very good for her. She needs to take her own path and her own lead. It hurts. Don't you think it doesn't hurt? As the mother, I know. Huh? I know what my mother had to go through. It must have been hell. Having me go off to these surgeries, and I'm not. But bottom line, and the day that I came home from the hospital cured, Mom went off to have Tommy. She wasn't there. Then I came home in the ambulance alone to my great aunt, and Mom went off and had Tommy.
Wow.
So she didn't want to go home to the hospital to have the baby the day I came home, but she did. I had to come home to my great aunt's alone. I was just amazed up in that bedroom how here I am, cured alone, and my mom's not here. But that was what happened.
Right.
So Jazzy is growing, and she's going to potentially be quite a little leader. And she needs to go through this process, and you just be behind her, and whatever she wants to do is fine. I'm saying that not
But
knowing.
it's true. But let me tell you, one of the things is that when Jasmine makes up her mind,
Nobody can stop her.
there's no changing it. That's
I-
why she's back at that school.
But don't you love that about her?
I do love that about her.
It's
And
one
I
of,
want to protect her at the same time.
I understand, but you know
But
what?
I do love that about her.
But can I tell you something?
Mhm.
Who she needs to be doesn't need you to protect her. Just love her. She has to grow into who Jasmine's life is to be,
Right.
not who you protected her into being. I'm not criticizing you. I'm only saying
I get it.
that ultimately she'll be here at 82 and you'll be dead.
Right.
And what she's going to do determines a lot of stuff that's happening now. And moms can't always protect. And the fact is, she's going to be black the rest of her life. It's not going to be green, yellow, or blue.
Right.
And so black, there's nothing wrong. That's what she was born. God gave her black.
Right.
So she needs to be proud of who she is, what she's standing for,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
And be true to her.
Yes.
I consider her, I think it sounds like she's on a very good path. And it's going to hurt like hell at times, so what?
Yeah.
I think a lot of my strength comes from what I went through as a child in pain. Imagine being out of school a third of the year
Right.
and having to keep up without any tutoring. I didn't get an ounce of tutoring.
Right.
I can't believe that. I don't know why we didn't get me tutoring. Back then you didn't do it.
Right.
But going in as and you know, I couldn't play baseball like the other kids. I had all the crap you could have to go through. But look how strong I became.
It's true.
Look at the husbands I've had and the life I've had.
It's so true.
Huh?
It's so true.
Yeah, I mean, most of the girls I know in Urbana, Ohio spent their life there. That's their world. They never got out of it. Look at what I've had the
Yeah.
privilege of doing. And I think some of it comes from the pain I learned to take as a child.
And depend on yourself. Because that's the other thing.
Well, because the
One of the
only
things-
one you've got always is you.
Yeah. And you have loved you deeply.
Huh?
You have loved you deeply.
I do.
Yeah, and so I think that, because I think that in my spirit, I feel as though, what happened, guys?
Well, they think somebody's coming into the neighborhood and they're protecting the house. Don't pay any attention if there's nobody here. But they're very protective.
Right? What happened?
They
What
are
was it?
They think somebody might be going to invade
Okay,
our home, and
okay.
and if one gets the idea, the other supports them, and they go looking.
That's the truth? Yes,
It's the
yes,
truth.
Mary Kay, yes. In New Orleans, they say, like, if we're talking about something, if I make a statement or if you make a statement and then one of us sneezes or somebody around us sneezes, they say that means it's the truth. What I have said is the truth.
Well, maybe the
Mary
dogs
Kay-
are getting you. So what are you saying then?
Mary Kay say that is the truth.
Yeah, but what were you? I finished what
So-
you were saying.
And the thing is, I think the deeper we love and honor ourselves, like with a real love, not with the
Not
like,
egotistical love, no.
exactly,
Pure.
exactly,
Pure love.
exactly.
Not that I'm always right, but I will always
Right.
try to make a decision that makes me love me.
Right,
And if I did the wrong thing towards you or Jazzy or anyone,
right,
I don't love me for it.
right,
That little girl who's doing what she's doing doesn't love her higher self.
right,
She's getting lost in that. You
right.
see? Whenever I have to put another person down to make me more, I become less.
Yes,
Fact. But kids don't know it. People don't know it. You have to learn that stuff.
yeah,
And then if people judged me, I just had to rise above it.
right,
I had to rise above it. Because, you know, the crippled little girl and the this and that and in and out of school and all that. I had to be me no matter what.
right,
If the kids liked me, good. If they didn't, good. I had to like me.
exactly,
And I think there's truth to that with everything.
right,
You didn't choose to be the black race. I didn't choose the white race.
right,
And none of us would choose Chinese, but we could be any one of them. or whatever else there is out there.
Right.
So there, but for, and what causes the sperm and egg to create you, I can't tell you, or
Right.
me, or whatever, whatever. All I know is I don't let the outside world have a whole lot of influence on me.
Right. And so Jasmine's like, she speaks her truth, like when,
I
and
love
she's
it.
all about justice. So the thing I was saying about the fact that you love yourself with like unconditional, like with, you love yourself unconditionally, opened up the doors for you to have such magical love from
And
your
be willing to
husband.
judge where I'm off base and get me back, or decide I'm willing to lose me. And
Yeah.
that's part of it. Sometimes, do I sleep with this guy tonight? Whatever. That's a decision and a judgment. Does it make me more? I used 4 words to make my life. Is any what I told you? Will I be more, not less? Be more or less? And when there's a decision to be made, my question is, will I be more or less by doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so easy, and it
Right.
takes a minute. Nobody even knows I'm making it. But if a group's going to go out partying and da 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 da, will I be more or less? I think I'm going to go home.
Right.
Or I'm going to go out and party night, and I make that, and I made the choice. Sometimes I don't always make the highest in level, but but I'm true to myself.
Right.
I really think those words are powerful,
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately the only person you can't get away from is you. And people are going to mistreat and do this and do that. There's all kinds of stuff. Amazing that Bonnie Ansbury and I are working on a project in Urbana together, and she was the brattiest kid I ever met. She was the most arrogant little, but she was a straight A student. She was this kind of perfect little girl. Her mom had all the time to make every bow on her hair perfect and all that. And I'm liking her now. We're kind of becoming
I
friends.
love that.
And I never hated her, but I never thought I'd ever kind of be friends with her.
Right.
Here I am at 82, and Bonnie and I talk with this project we're doing in Urbana quite a bit.
Right.
And it's kind of fun.
Exactly.
So let it be what it is. Your daughter will rise above it.
Yes.
She will.
Yeah.
And particularly if you encourage her.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of I've been researching and looking for solutions, not just talking about what's going on, but the reality is that because it's supposed to be a zero tolerance for bullying policy throughout the school district, but the principals, nobody's equipped, and it looks different to everybody. The administrators don't even know. It's based on their own judgment, like what bullying is and what it isn't. And in terms of like race training, like, and the appropriateness of certain things and the unappropriate, like there has to be something where they're really looking at that to really heal it, to create
I agree
kindness communities. Because even if nowhere
well,
else,
then it needs to be discussed
Mm-hmm.
openly. And in fact, I would think, and I'm thinking somewhere in a school I was in, I'm not sure about this. It seems like we had an auditorium thing and discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the details, and I'm not even sure I'm right. But role played it and brought it up, brought it
Mhm.
out, so to
Yes.
speak. And I think somewhere along my way, something like that has happened, but I can't remember the details. But
And
you
that's the
can't
thing, you
leave
gotta
it in-
talk about it. You got to.
Right.
Yeah.
So role playing
Mm-hmm.
the white and the black issue or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pretend it doesn't exist. Every problem is greater when it's ignored. I agree with that.
Every problem is greater when it's ignored.
Yeah, it grows inside.
Yes.
Takes over more and more.
Yes.
Every problem is greater when it's ignored. Best thing to do is pull it up, look at it, and decide, how do I make me better?
Yes.
And if this is my reality, I'm going to be discriminated racially at times. I have to learn how to handle that.
Right.
And I might make the decision that if anyone does that to me, it's because they just don't understand, and I can be kind back. That we don't choose our color, we don't choose our sex, we don't choose to be gay if we're gay, we don't choose any of this stuff. Particularly, I think it's a natural, God forbid that I would ever have that, but if you are, you are.
Right.
And that's coming out more and more too.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah.
You're hearing about it. I think inner peace is accepting the reality of who I am and being open to the reality of who you are without judgment, because you're right. Anything you want to think, I can like you and not agree with you on how you choose to handle things, and vice
Right.
versa.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
And the more I can be in tune with me, the more I'm willing to have a clear relationship. Who was that? You remember this. You were around me. That one guy that was thinking about suicide that was working with me. Do you remember him?
Oh, I remember it in California.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
that guy?
Yeah. And he looked like he could have been your grandbaby.
He liked me and we got along
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
And in the background, he was feeling like he wanted to commit suicide.
Right.
Now, I was going to tell you that story, and here it's you that I was in it with.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You'd have never guessed it. He was a
Exactly.
good-looking, successful
Right.
young man. We were reading my book
Smiling.
we read it. I don't even know whatever
Yeah.
happened to that book I read on CD. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that one.
Well, that's what we were reading. He and I were taking turns reading.
Oh, this was a different guy. That was one of Ian's friends. I wasn't there that day. I thought you were talking. There was a young man when we went to California.
I'm
Super
talking
cute.
about that young man.
And with the red hair, super cute.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he could have been your grandbaby. Like really.
And he really liked me.
Mhm.
I remember
And you
him.
guys were standing there and you were talking, and then it came out that he had been
But he
considering.
had. You just didn't
Yeah.
realize that that same young man had read my book with Ian.
Oh,
Yes.
it was him.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had read the other part in my book. I don't even know where the hell that is.
Wow. Ian probably has it. No?
Maybe.
Maybe. I would ask him.
It's so complicated for me now. All this
Yeah.
stuff. And now it seems like it's really a weird time in my life.
In terms of what?
Just crazy things. Like, I get confused at this point. I don't want to get off your subject, but,
Mm.
or just like that. Who was that? And I think Ian probably does have that. And I
Mhm.
need to ask for it. And, I can't even remember. So many things are happening. Oh, I know what. That group that found me, you do know that. I
What
told
is
you about.
it?
I think you know what. I'm not sure.
The women?
No, I don't know what the women are about. I don't remember them. I got a call from this company. And, oh, that's what it is. They had found my book on the internet. Confused. And they wanted to come and give me 3 hours of free interview time. Video me interviewing my book, right? Speaking my book.
Mhm.
Interview me
Mm-hmm.
for 3 hours
Mhm.
free with professional.
Hmm.
So that's just been finished.
Amen.
Think about that. They found me on the internet. They want to use me as a model. The way I tell it, whatever
Mhm.
it is, to sell other families on sharing their life to their family before they die, I think, or something like that.
Oh.
But they called me. They found me on the
Uh-huh.
internet
Right.
and spent. I have a 3-hour. It'll be coming out. Video
Uh-huh.
that they've taken of me free.
That's so beautiful.
It would have cost $3,500 to hire it done,
Okay.
which I would have never spent.
Right.
And they want to do me free as their model.
That's so beautiful.
What's crazy? I mean, how that
right,
stuff
how
happens.
it happened, and it comes. But that's the serendipity of your life. That's what your life is. Your life is a
Weird.
series of beautiful serendipities. Yeah.
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 Well, but I don't think it's there for just me. It's for me to talk to people and everything that happens, including what's happening with Jazzy right now, can be a benefit. Or it could be a crisis based on how you handle it.
Yeah, and I'm not doing really well with it.
I can
She's
hear that.
doing. She is very sure, because I was like, but it's hard, and I don't want to see you in pain. And she said to me, she said, but you support me, and my dad supports me, and that'll help me get through it. I'll get through anything like that.
And trust that. And stop it. Because she has a path. Picture me with my osteomyelitis of the spine. And my mother up all nights and nights, hospitals, etc. Picture that. And then look at where my life's come.
And Jazzy has a lot of you in her.
I see. That
Whew,
just.
Lord, she has a lot of you in
Oh,
her.
good. That's great. But do you understand? You don't get there without pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go back to school after the first 2 days, kids wanted to be my friend and be my partner. They didn't want me after that. I couldn't do anything right as good as they did.
Mm-hmm.
I went through all of that, and it made me who I am. So, pain is not always a negative. It's how you come through it and rise above it. And I think Jazzy's doing very well from what you're telling me.
Yeah, but what I'm concerned about is that, our bodies, like that book, our bodies keep the score. And just like she's having these headaches and she's having these stomach aches, it's like
That's a different.
it's like birthing pains. And I'm like, and that stuff affects you. Because I remember I had an ulcer in high school, right? Like, because of
The
all of the
headaches and
stress that I kept in.
But do you think this is stress for her?
I think it's extreme stress. I think that's why every day this week, when she was anticipating the fallout from everybody, she was having such bad headaches and stomach aches and like her legs and like everything, and just
Okay, that's a different matter. Then.
right,
I don't know.
like, and she's internalizing it, and yet she still wants to fight through it, but she's internalizing it. And it should be different. It should be different. And just like she said, nobody else should have to go through that. She shouldn't have to go through that. I feel like the grown-ups in the village are failing the kids, not just her. They're failing her, but they're also failing Madison, because if Madison
Is learning a way of being that's going to be miserable for the world.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's never a loss or win for one. No.
Yeah. And then it's a ripple effect.
So
into
you talked to the
everybody else.
principal.
I talked to the principal, and I think she did the best she knew to do, but it has created even worse of a scenario. And I don't think, and I believe that she came from the best place and did the best she knew. But that's why there are other professionals that deal with certain things
Mhm.
to offer consultations so that they can help.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, to help minimize the collateral damage.
And all administrators in the school are not excellent at that by any
Mhm.
means.
And even the fact that the guidance counselor opted not to talk about it. Because the thing is, talking about race is not a comfortable conversation.
It has to be. It needs to get comfortable. So if I were a teacher in the classroom, this is what's just coming out of my mouth,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say, okay, I have a very interesting class here because I have 17 black children and 15 white children and 5 Chinese children, whatever it is. And you know what's interesting? You all come to my class every day and you all live different lives. And part of the difference is your culture. Now, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to pretend the white children are going to be black and Chinese, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to spend a week. And you try to imagine what it'd be like to be a white person and have that same experience. And they'll do that. And let's see how we do at playing that game. I don't know. That's just an idea. But think about it. So the first step, we're going to meditate, and we're trying to, maybe we're going to have a sharing between a black girl and a white girl about how you feel about this and how you feel about that.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a very interesting thing
Yeah. Yeah.
to really do.
Yeah.
They
And
put-
like realities, you know?
No, that could be a very interesting, that'd be the kind of thing I'd do in my class. I did different stuff.
Yes.
Believe you me.
Yes. Outside of the box.
You know, in ninth grade, when I taught ninth grade, I had all the problem boys in the school in one class. And they liked Miss Smith. She took her hose off in class, and they didn't like Miss Schlesinger who'd come in. Who was she going to be? They really didn't like me. They didn't know me. They didn't like me because Miss Smith got fired.
Right.
There's about 16, 17 of them, something like that. I stood up in front of the class and I said, now I want to tell you